We kind of said, chairs, I love it.
Next time I go.
Love. It's, ever did it?
Yeah.
All right, I guess you guys do that.
Edward, hold on. How many times?
Music in the brain, you're still talking. I love it, I love it. You communicate with each other. It is your people.
Right, I don't. Yeah.
See a lot of bidders, you
Save a lot of money.
well, that's my saddest moment is when I pull up the reports and look at 30, 60, 90 days. If I've got a deal, I'm like, okay, come in. And I know there's a lot on Zoom, and I love that. I love we had that. Like Matt Mead, he's one of my boys. I'm glad to see his face. Like, don't make a big deal about it. But I do love that he's here. I love all of you here right now.
No,
How many do we have on Zoom today?
right now, 16.
16.
So it's summertime.
It is, the summertime, yeah, we're always still selling real estate. And let me ask this question, so it is summertime, is Wells Fargo like June, July, and August, so I'm saying, no house payment this month?
No.
Or your car payment, or whatever, they still ask for that stuff.
I got my Wells Fargo bill yesterday as well, so.
All right, let's get started. Tell me something good. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, taking your time. I got Clifford, a good friend of mine. I just met him a couple weeks ago. We broke bread together, and he's coming to check us out. And then he come in here, sits next to Joe, and they worked at his previous company and his company he's at now. So that's actually worked out pretty well. Playing, right? But yeah, thank y'all for showing up today. So somebody tell me something good. We'll just tell me something good, and then we'll go into cheers for peers. Yes, ma'am. Yes, she is.
Oh, I know, I've got both. Wait a minute.
Tell me something good.
Okay, tell me something good. Thank you to everybody. Tell me something good. We may have not had electricity over the weekend or on Saturday at the office, but there's definitely power within the friendships that we've made here. And y'all just made my birthday a really, really special day and a weekend. So thank you for all of that. And
You got a video of me, my hair was like this high. You're like, who's got a bed?
I know, it was just like, oh my God. Hey, Ruth has been collecting the Ronald McDonald House. Anybody ever heard of Ronald McDonald House? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so they take care of their families when the kids are going for treatments and stuff. And it's the little tabs off the cans. So when you're doing your cans, Michael, after you have any tabs, throw them in this box. It's in the kitchen. When you're at home, when you're in the car, just pull them and throw them, okay? And you can make a difference in a kid's life.
So let me just touch on that. You probably don't know this. We spent 3 months at Scottish Rite, and it was back before Scottish Rite and Everson were one. It was Atlanta Healthcare. It wasn't that, it was Scottish Rite. So we had the privilege of having many rooms and many places for people to stay in the hospital. It's kind of crazy how it happened. But they don't have that opportunity now. So the Ronald McDonald House is a place for the families to travel who do not live close to Atlanta. We're very blessed. Well, I call Atlanta home to have wonderful hospitals for our children. And so with that, That's what they do, the collection of the tabs, goes for that and how we help families who cannot help or have the funds to be able to do that, yet their child is sick in the hospital. So,
How did the tabs turn into money?
I don't know, they sell aluminum, I'm not
They
exactly.
sell the aluminum, so yeah, it takes a lot of them.
Yeah,
However, this is gonna go to
We
our
have a
Atlanta,
lot.
it'll go to our Atlanta chapter,
yeah.
so they'll need to live
But
there.
we're doing a good cause, right? And so how that happens. Don't know how they pick who, whatever. Thank you for doing that. And we drink a lot of drinks.
A lot of drinks here, yeah.
All right, you got some? Tell.
Anyway, I was showing my rental this week, a lady came and she wanna take that rental property and show me the list of the house, 1.8 billion.
I love that. That's a good one. Hi, someone else. Felt the energy coming out of that one. 1.8, you know, I give you some of that. That's $60,000. Somebody else. Tell me something good. Nothing else is happening good?
Good.
Outside of Joe. Anything else happening good? What you got, yeah?
Yes, I put in a, contract last night for my client. I've been working with for a townhouse with no HOA in Sandy Springs, like I said, it is. But we got accepted. We had multiple offers and did an escalation clause and, we got a call back and they said, yeah, he's gonna take your offer, but he's gonna sleep on it overnight. So.
There you go. Yeah, that's all. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Do y'all think real estate's really happening right now?
Yes.
We sold more units last month than we've sold in years. Give me a guess how many units y'all think we sold last month? What y'all sold? Y'all, you know, when you sell.
What's the average?
I don't know. I just want you to guess. How many units do you think this office sold last year? 580. Well, that's a lot. Okay. Okay, let's ask the question. I just kind of proposed this. How many, I don't know if I'm myself, but how many of y'all think North Fulton sold?
You know, I buy.
Y'all think North Fulton, are you thinking North Fulton, are you thinking 400? Alpharetta, Milton, how many houses do you think they sold last year? How many? 400.
Too high.
Is that too high? Yeah. Not really helping. Okay, they sold 241 homes. No fault, right? They have 200 more agents we did have. Hey, y'all know what we sold? It's unbelievable. 222 houses. Well, that is absolutely amazing. That's a lot of homes sold last month. You guys are still cranking it out. Last year, the Land Business Chronicle would come out. I don't know if I'm able to share that with y'all. We were 21 out of all brokerages, over 3,000 brokerages. We were number 21. I'll bring the article in here when Shelby comes up. I'll walk out and get it. And if you want to take pictures and frame it on your Facebook, that would be awesome. And why is that? Why would we do that? Why would we do that?
Credibility.
Okay, great. Gives you credibility, gives the office credibility. Well, then what would happen if Clifford's looking at that and go, I want to be inside that arena. I want to see people that are selling a lot of real estate, taking 1.8, $1.6 million listings, right? I want to be in that room, right? It's fine to do that. Yeah. All right, tell me, something good about, or, something you want to share about somebody, something. I did something good. I want you to share. Give me an aha of somebody's done something good. What we're looking for. Here. Pull it out of the window and tell me. Yes, sir.
Mary Ann, and by the way, the day
Thanks,
before
sweetie.
her birthday, Friday at 6 o'clock, she was helping me rearrange my office. So if you guys haven't seen it, please stop by and
It looks good. Thanks, Mary Ann. I love it. My family moved in the house. Yeah, thank you for that. Somebody else. Oh, yes, ma'am.
I want to thank Matt and Hunter for showing up on Sunday at our open houses, even though both of the houses were under contract, we were hoping for a backup and we did have great traffic, but they came and Matt's wife baked cookies and it was amazing. And so they're the best. They show up.
Totally agree, absolutely they did, yeah, let's give them that. Matt took me golfing last week, I want to thank him for that, he always wants to kind of take me out, and give me his money, I just don't know why.
Good one.
Oh, you want to ask him off the record. All right, let's keep going. I love him, I love both of those guys, okay, Kelly, let's go.
Good morning.
Good. Ashley Condon with O'Kelly and Swordahan. Today what I wanted to talk to y'all about is a legal description. So what happens if you have a contract that doesn't have a legal description?
You don't have a contract.
You don't have a contract because nobody knows what you're buying and selling, right? So I have this post-closing issue going on now, where these people did have a legal description in their contract, which is precisely what we use to close on. Unbeknownst to us, they had gotten a survey, and the survey showed something a little bit different. They had added on some extra property, they were supposed to take off some other property, but they didn't share that information with us. So first issue is that they didn't amend the contract. So again, what they ended up buying and selling was precisely what their contract indicated they wanted to buy and sell. Unfortunately, the seller had wanted to carve out a piece of property that he continued to live in. So like his house, he lives in, was actually sold to the buyer. So again, if you don't update your contract, you don't tell anybody you're doing that, that's a huge issue. And I know legal descriptions, we say pull the deed, it's kind of a formality, nobody pays attention to it, but it's a big issue if you actually end up selling your home when you did not need to sell your home. So the agents, the phone call was no problem. We'll just get each party to sign a quick claim deeds, shoring up the legal description, not an issue. Unfortunately, the buyer is a little upset at the seller for other reasons and says, nope, sucks to suck, I own it. I want him to leave. So he needs to try to fix this guy. So kind of word to the wise. Pay attention to what your legal description is, pay attention to what you actually want to buy and to sell, because it can be a huge, huge problem. Most of the time, like in a neighborhood, you're not gonna see that as much. This was a couple of acres with 2 houses and whatnot. But even still,
Somebody's going to hell.
Exactly. So I don't think that. Enrique?
Does title insurance help at all with that?
So title insurance protects the buyer, doesn't help the seller at all in what they sold. Plus, the title insurance is for what the buyer bought, not what the buyer wanted to buy. So your title insurance policy is based off of the legal description, which is that's what was on the contract, that's what was on the deed, that's what was on the title insurance policy. So that's not gonna be a real
Exactly.
helpful
So
thing.
if the buyer got shortchanged, it was the other way around, then that insurance wouldn't have held it. A lot of people believe that, oh, we got that insurance, nothing to worry about, it'll fix everything.
Right, it's not, title insurance is not a fix-all. Title insurance just insures the title to the property that was bought. Not the property that they wanted to buy or intended to buy, the property that was actually bought. So please be careful with that, and even if you have us pull a deed, know that us pulling a deed is not the same thing as doing a title search. And no closing attorney is really gonna be free unless you tell us to what the property actually looks like, to know, hey, there's some other house. Because from the agent's perspective, they're like, well, duh, the seller wanted to keep this other house, it's a whole another house, it's a whole nother address, but we don't see that. So that has to be communicated, and if you're pulling a deed, then make sure you understand the landscape of the property, and if your seller's only wanting to sell a portion, that you've indicated that to the closing attorney. And the sad thing with this is that they did actually get that survey, they did get the survey reported, but title exams have good through dates. Counties are always a couple of weeks behind. So that survey wasn't reported until after the good through date of our title exam. So don't just assume that since you sent it to be recorded yesterday, that we're gonna see it when we got the title exam last week. So again, just kind of be careful with these legal descriptions. Pay attention. I know that it's easy to kind of get in the habit of doing the same thing, but this is a very, very costly mistake on, everyone's part there.
So what's gonna be a solution when you got this? So the solution, really what it is the buyer and the seller had to come to another agreement. I think what they're gonna end up doing is the seller's probably gonna pay the buyer a little bit of money to kind of buy that tract back. And then buyer's gonna deed it to them, seller's gonna deed them the other piece that the buyer thought they bought, because really what the property is kind of shaped like rectangle this way. The seller wanted to keep this part and sell this part, but the opposite happened. So they're gonna sort of switch. But it's been several weeks getting them on the same page. Because they're, and one of the questions I got was, hey, since you drafted the deed, can't you just correct it as the scrivener? Which that is an option, like if we make an error, we can fix it because it was our error and we drafted it. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as it being our error. We did exactly what the parties directed us to do. They just directed us incorrectly. So they're gonna sign deeds and transfer a little bit of money.
Now they
I'm
get
a
to pay.
scrivener.
The issue is still in this time or after?
So when our title exam that we had was the exact same legal description that the parties told us to use in the contract, which is why it never came up at all. And so there wasn't a title issue to be resolved. It was simply that the buyer and seller had decided to change the land that was being transferred, but it wasn't communicated to us. So communication is important, but that legal description is what tells us what you actually want to buy and sell, because addresses aren't definitive. And I heard someone say, what's a scrivener? Scrivener is like an old fancy word to mean someone who drafts something. So you'll see scrivener's affidavit being recorded, just means whoever drafted the document made an error and they're correcting that error.
If the buyer wasn't really cooperating, it could be taken up to a court to make a decision, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah, and having phone calls between agents is not really gonna be helpful in a court of law. Text messages, emails might be helpful in swaying someone one direction or the other, but really your contract is gonna be the best way to fix that. So what the agent should have done is done a contract amendment to update the legal description, have everyone sign off, send that to us. We probably would have had to run another title exam and that's fine, but it would have been correct in the parties.
So really, at the end of the day, the agent is not involved.
Like I said, you are responsible, we're paid very well for what we do, and you need to, and it's really not even this deal, it's your reputation moving forward. You might mess this up, if that person tells this person, this person. We have attorneys, we have brokers. Ask questions when you need, and so I think it's very important, so
Yeah.
thank you for that tip, that's a great.
Of course, good, good. Well, not for this, folks, but.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm just kind of going through the events that we've got coming up. On Thursday, June 8th, we've got a new agent meet and greet. We're doing that with Shelter. So if you're new and you want to know kind of the 5 big things that we see come up in transactions, we'd love to have you. We'll have a little breakfast and then an open house book, a lot of fun. Wednesday, June 14th, we've got book club at Firebirds at 5 p.m. So we're reading The Maid's Diary by Laura. When is that? It's
June
Wednesday,
14th.
June 14th. Okay, 5 p.m. No. No. The following Wednesday, the 21st, we're one of the sponsors for the DS Murphy appraisal class. That's 12 to 3. So that'll be a lot of fun to go out kind of a field trip. CE that they're putting on, and then flipping mojitos. Y'all have heard me talk about that for a few months in a row. That's Wednesday, the 21st, right here at Mojitos in the forum from 6 to 9. It's a networking, very casual, kind of fun, grab a drink and mingle event. Thursday, June 22nd, the new bar forms have come out, so the mid-year update. So I'll be teaching a CE on that from 10 a.m.
Don't false over that, say it again.
The new forms are out, right? We update forms twice a year. So January, mid-year, the mid-year forms have officially come out. So we've got the class putting that together so we can teach you guys what has changed or what has changed in the mid-year update. It is CE 10 to 1. I'll have lunch for you guys. Know that the commission doesn't let us give you CE for both January and May. So I don't want anyone coming in thinking they'll get hours that they won't, but it is CE if you didn't do the January one. Either way, it'll be good information, a refresher on the forms, and then of course going over the changes. And then on that same day, we've got our happy hour that we're sponsoring with all the Alliance partners. We're super excited about bowling. Remember to RSVP for that so we can get the number of lanes and all that set up. And then on Monday, June 26th, we've got coffee talk with Shelter from 10 to 11. Y'all bring your questions. Y'all know you can reach out to me anytime, but it's a good form to kind of bounce questions, thoughts, ideas off of each other and figure out what's going on in the market. So I appreciate y'all very much. And don't forget to put Oakland to our hand on page 1 of contracts.
Yeah, I wanna thank you, and I think it's important, like, go to these social events, go to all these little, the things that they're doing, just, like, meetups. Like, there's people, it's network. You wanna constantly keep networking, get your face out there, of who you are in the marketplace.
And there's a lot of investors
Oh, I
that go to meetups.
I know.
It's a good kind
Yeah.
of pool of.
Alright,
Oh, and also while I'm up here, I wanted to say thank you to Javier for a super fun salsa class on Friday. Gonna be dancing so fabulously in no time. So that was a lot of fun.
so do you know, little trivia, did you know that Javier owns, how many studios do you own? How many dance studios do you own?
24 in my country, around the country.
Oh, little trivia, you didn't know about Javier, so you think he knows a little thing about dancing? I've seen it on the dance floor, he makes fun of me.
We are the.
So there you go, come and see what it's all about.
All right, thanks guys so much.
Thank you. Sharp dress, dude, I got a nickname for y'all, like, sound blue, because y'all just look good. ZZ Top, the greatest album of all time, if you were born in the '70s. Good morning. Sharp dress men.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm gonna start off today. It's a big day. It's a big day. 365 days, a full year. We've had a hot dog, 100 league.
Feels like it's been way quicker than a year, so.
Yeah.
Kind of flew by, so happy to be here and glad to still be here.
And to that note, within a 12-month time period, so May, Hunter exceeded 2.5 million in volume.
Wow.
4, 5, 6, 7 years and don't hit that mark, and he did it in less than 12 months with us, so awesome job.
Thank you, congratulations, thank you.
So what contributed to that, Hunter?
Just do what this guy says, follow his lead.
So you had a good mentor.
Yeah.
What about your drive? What's your mindset?
All be as successful as I can. Like I said, follow this schedule. And there's a lot of blueprints that people give out and freebies, and I just try to take advantage of them and follow them as good as best as I can. Kind of gear it to my personality and what I do best. So,
Mike. This guy goes to his first time home buyer seminars, with tons of agents, questions of social media, he's very active, like he's doing all the right things.
Oh, yeah.
Not a surprise at all.
Yeah, I'm not so
Open
bad.
houses, like how many agents, or how many lenders go to open houses with agents? I never see that.
Yeah, another thing I'll speak to, I mean, this guy, he's got one focus, that's taking care of his clients, taking care of his agents, communicating. And if you do that, you do it consistently, you're gonna be successful, and it's show.
I agree, you have consistent show being number one. The reason that is because of who you are, what your beliefs are, your mindset, right?
Yeah.
He's an Alabama grad, you gotta give him, I mean,
need all the help I can get with that.
that's, like, he understands success, he does, he knows success.
Well, I mean, let's not be carried away. I gotta do it a couple months in a row. I mean,
Like that consistent.
but yes, I have to be consistent with it, but it's, all because of you guys and your help. So I appreciate being here and thanks for, letting me come around after 12 months.
I got one more comment to make. And two, you see how people dress and what they're, how you evolve and you're on this journey, right? And it's not so much the destination, it's the journey. And I love you. You'd come in here, a lot of Alabama, pull over, you look good.
Thank
It looks good
you.
on you.
You guys see meetings today, so yeah.
I'm over here, my shirt, and I'm like, I'm proud of it. I want to say that. Go ahead.
Real quick on rates, so last week was a great week for rates. We had 4 consecutive days. Rates dropped from national average of 7.25 down to 6.875. Friday employment numbers came out, which exceeded the expectations. They were positive, which caused some volatility. Yesterday, we ended up seeing a crazy day in terms of movement. 7 different times the rates changed an 1/8% or more. So this is something we're watching. I mean, Hunter, you're on NBS highway nonstop, seeing what rates are doing. He's texting me, and we just lost an 8. Hey, we just gained it back. There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of uncertainty. One thing that's very positive is the Fed governor came out and spoke last week and hinted that there would not be a rate hike in June. So now the expectation or the probability of that taking place went from 70% down to 30. That's also what's helping the rates now. June 13th is a big day, remains a big day for us to watch. That's when the inflation numbers come out. So we're hoping to see a big drop after that's released.
All right, well, I got some good news as well. We do have down payment assistance now as of last Thursday, I believe. It was the last day of May that we got it. So we have a Dream Start program. I took some notes on the training the other day. Had a lot of people inquire about this, especially with the higher interest rates, trying to save some money. So one disclaimer on this, the interest rates will be about 1/4 to a 1/2 point higher than the market rate. So this is not going to be for everybody, but if it's someone who has solid monthly income, but maybe they just haven't saved any money, this could be a program for them. So there's no income limit. It is a second mortgage on top of the first lien. So they will be paying that off over a 10-year period. That interest rate is 2 points higher than the market rate. So if they lock in 7.5 on their first mortgage, it is 9.5 to pay back 3.5% grant. And it is actually available on FHA and conventional loans. So even if your client qualifies for a conventional loan, you can still use this. We can do single family, duplexes, condos, or modular homes. There's no temporary buy downs on this product, so you do have to lock at the market rate that we have. And it is available for people that are above 620 credit score. So it's not for everybody, but we do now have this available. And it is fully amortized over 10 years. So,
Hunter, so you're saying your 30-year rate is 1/2 point higher,
correct.
plus the down payment loan is 2% higher?
So let's say the average rate is 7% right now, and that's what they qualify for. If they're just doing a 30-year fix, their rate is going to be 7.5 on the first mortgage and will be 9.5 on the grant to pay back over a 10-year period. So again, not for everybody, but if someone has higher income, or they may be looking at a lower priced property where they can handle the monthly payment on both liens, then, you know, this may be for them if they don't have savings to get them into the property.
And the whole, like the whole 3.5%.
Yes, and then if they do conventional, and this is one of my favorite parts about it, so if they go conventional, you know, you put 3% down on a conventional loan as a first time home buyer, so they can actually finance 5%, so they can do all 3% down payment, and then 2% can be allocated to closing costs. So then they really have
No
to have.
money down.
Technically, yeah, I mean, it just depends on if you get seller concessions, then they can really get into a house that money down, yeah.
So what's this credit score?
620 plus, yeah, you have to have 620 to qualify, so.
And what's the penalty for paying it off early or selling it before it's fully amortized?
There's not.
There's no
No
penalty.
penalty. Where this product comes in, I've worked with this product before, where it's helpful and useful is if someone's just gotten an offer letter or a new position where their income has increased, but they haven't had time to save up a ton of money and want to qualify, they just don't have that down payment. It's good, and they can pay off or speed up the second mortgage payment. That's what it's useful.
Somebody pull their calculator out for me. I gave you some numbers earlier. That's gonna be GLG. Rossville sold 130 homes. We sold 222. Alpharetta sold 241. What's those numbers?
593.
5 acres, let's just round it up, let me use like that, 600. So many houses sold last month, just in GLG. Any houses are getting sold?
Oh, yeah.
You know, rates are just they're there, don't get me wrong, but don't let that be your story. If I want something bad enough, they'll go get it, and they'll pay, that's still really cheap money, to be real honest, 7% is very cheap money. You were doing a hard money lender, he would charge you more than that, typically.
Every single offer we had put in last weekend was probably like 10, all multiple offers, there's not a single.
Oh, they're still getting, it's crazy.
There's not a single house you can put an offer on, one offer that I've seen. Well, I mean, there's a couple here and there, but that's a different price point, it's gonna be a special, you know, spot in the market, but all the stuff we're seeing is multiple offers, you know, waiting contingencies and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. So it's happening, get your piece of that.
awesome.
Hi, you shelter. after we're hosting shelter, we're hosting new res, we're hosting the president today here at the office. What I mean by that is the head of all, do you know that's coming here
Yes,
today?
oh, yeah.
And y'all- Well, look, that is your you're smart. Yes, the president, the CEO of the parent company is gonna be here, and they've chosen this office to do their, because of the success of these two gentlemen, so.
And who is that?
His name is James, last name is throwing me off, but his name is James, not James Williamson. His name is James, and he'll be walking around, so if you're in the office, just be like, tell them how good they are. All right. Thank y'all, congrats. All right, I don't know if Kelly's here, I don't see her. All right. Kelly, are you online? Anybody there? And if you're not, we'll move to Andrew. I know Andrew's here, right here.
Yep. How's it going? Andrew Daniels, Coke Insurance. There's a lot of turmoil in the insurance market right now. A lot of insurance carriers are pulling out of different states like Florida and California. They all read the news. It has a lot to do with inflation and just the amount of claims that are coming out of these states. Florida because of hurricanes and California because of costs. But if you have like a state farm policy or an all-state policy, keep an eye out on the renewal increases because they've really been hitting people hard. Ruth actually called me last night. I think her policy increased by like 40% or something like that on state farm. I'm gonna re-quote that.
Are they pushing higher premiums in other states to cover some of the losses?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so Florida, a lot of the carriers that write Florida business also write other southeast states business, and it's all just, they ratchet up the rates and, all the other states to pay for the losses in other states like Florida, California, and then there's a couple other states that are insurance losses, but the insurance companies have to write business in a certain amount of states to be able to write it nationally. So they end up just losing money in some states and making it up in the rest. So just let me know if you see an increase in your premium. I'll redo it.
Yeah, and this wealth building class, they recommend every year you look at your, what you have in your insurance for your house, what kind of umbrella do you have on your house? You guys are realtors, right? You guys are very successful, and it's important that you protect yourself and your investments. And I also say you and yourself, from my broker side, that you were looking at all the different years with your car insurance, your home insurance. Go just shop them. Yeah, and you'll see Andrew's gonna be the best. They all well with my policies because they, but I can always look around. But don't think money's not free. It keeps, if we spend it or we're, let's say roofs, we're all of us roofs. So somebody's paying for that somewhere. It's happening. So, I appreciate it. I know you come here every day, you provide stuff for us in the service, so thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. So, I'm gonna ask this, Ruth will not be here today, she is a very private individual, but I know, I'm just gonna ask for your prayers for her. Her husband, she had to take to the hospital last night, so just give her a prayer, and if you just send her a text, say we're praying for you. Do that for me, that'd be awesome. So she won't be here to give you a broken moment, but she will tell you, we're doing a lot more problems. A lot of stuff that really shouldn't be happening is because we're not buttoning up our contracts and communications, and we feel like our phone is the communication. I do like that you have a trail. Just make sure your paper trail says exactly what you mean. So there is no misinterpretation, or it's he said, she said, or you have an email form. But I will say this, don't hide behind the phone. Have a communication with that agent. Very important. Because we are dealing with a lot of issues. It's all wrapped around communication. Very important to do that. So, thank you, your Shell. Enrique, you ready? You got some good stuff for us today? What are you seeing out there? on down, but I'm gonna jump in with you for a minute and bring somebody else with us. Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna embarrass her really quick. I love doing this. Terry Foster, come on down. You didn't know how to see. There we come in. Hot seat. Come down. But I'm gonna challenge all of you. Somebody tell me, what does Enrique do every week? And since if somebody said, Coach Jay. Okay, that's good, yeah. When he comes up for team meeting, what does he do? Numbers, thank you, numbers, right, stats, real things, that's what, so what does Matt do when he comes up? He gives numbers and stats. What did I do when I came here? I gave you some numbers, right? So, I don't know if y'all have David McKeecher on your Instagram page or on your Facebook. If you don't have him on there, his office is in the back, and this is one for him. But he does a report, an MMO report on his building. I'm gonna mess the number up, and I'm probably close. He lives, is it Spire? Where is he? Spire. He has sold 24 units inside there, and it could be higher or lower. I don't know if he's clear. And he just told me the other day, it was in the 20s. And I'm like, wow, he goes, my videos matter, and they're seeing it, and I'm very involved. I'm like, dude, you're the guy who's like, there's actually other agents in my building. They call me. So me and Kara talking this morning, like, in the hot seat, she was like, I love what he's doing. Yeah. And like Matt, let me give you all examples, and this is your show. Like Matt did a thing yesterday. Who saw Matt's thing? He is the realtor of the month. Did you see my response? I didn't say, you're the employee of your own company. I said, congratulations, man, proud of you. Keep adding value to your clients. Do you think the clients know he's doing this? But they see that. And it was funny, y'all knew what he was doing, but the world is going, dude, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Right? And so I saw that, and of course, we're talking about it. So when you put your phones up today, it's gonna be Matt Mead. I apologize on behalf of him. But that's good stuff. And that is putting it out to the public to get more business. And that's what you were asking me. So go ahead.
And also does another great thing on the Peachtree Station Facebook group too. It's not a video, but he puts out the stats for the neighborhood every month, just like what I'd like to bring to the market center. There's more conversation around the monthly market overview that comes out every month. It comes out every month, but I'm not sure that we all can talk to it and talk about it with our clients, with each other. So I'd love to bring a monthly market overview mastermind or class or just conversation once a month to talk about it so that we can learn how to communicate it and make sure that we understand what the trends are and what's happening for ourselves and for our clients.
Yeah, I think like Terry dominates Norcross. She lives there, it's her stay and play, they dominate. My question is, are you dominating where you're at? Like, are you dominating? I've had this conversation with Matt a million times about, and Carrie about Peachtree Corners, and I'll drive through neighborhoods and I see other signs. Like, I don't see anybody else. I want us to dominate the areas, and then we expand out. And how you do that is letting them know what's happening. Here, Peachtree Corners, is everybody see your database? The new plan out here, you see the construction going on. Have you done that yet? I'm asking you to get up there and do that for your clients so they know what is going on. What's the real story? Because the media is telling the story, it's different than what's really boots on the ground.
Do not let the media be the narrative for your client. Because it's, this sky is always falling. This guy is not falling and people are still buying homes.
Well, I said the numbers today.
Exactly. So I think that having this MMO conversation every month will give us empowerment to do those videos and communicate that to our clients, just like, let's be the news source.
And I've said this, one more thing to me, I'm gonna give you the floor. I just want to grab something. I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna give her one more, she's been here. I don't know if I've done this in front of her already. I'm gonna do it again. Tony's in the room. I don't know if they've both been here, but they graduated the first Ignite class.
Ignite and gave me the opportunity to pour into them. Carrie's here, I don't know. But it was such an honor to teach that class, and I loved every minute of it. And I'm so thankful for
few days.
Well, thank you for giving us a thanks.
And you're 100% right, Terry.
Sure.
We are aware of what people are actually seeing in the news, so take a look at the news yourself, right? See what the trends are. But I'm just reading some of the headlines, and I mean, anyone can do this, right? It says USA Today, where are home prices headed? Housing market predictions, and if you open it up, you're gonna have all different points of view. Another one, this is housing market 2023, nearly half of millennials and Gen Z blame government for high interest rates. Housing market 2023, all state and state farm homeowners insurance in 2 states. Is the housing market going to crash? What experts are about the possibility 2023. Housing market as age, fewer sales, higher home prices, less inventory. Now, people read the headlines. In a lot of cases, they don't even read the actual content of it, right? So that plays into the negativity, that plays into the, I don't know what the market is. I believe that sellers still think at a high percentage, about 30% of potential sellers think that they're not gonna make top company in this market. How wrong is that? Right? So anyways, that's definitely the truth. So if we can put that together, let's, whatever I can do to help with that. Questions?
No, I just think the narrative, we need to tell the narrative. I think when everybody, your alliance partners, why do I have them come up every week? They're the front line, like I say, stay in your lane. We sell real estate, they do mortgages, they do attorney stuff. And but they're also giving us each week an aha for us to take back to our clients. Know your contracts. The two things about a great realtor, they know how to negotiate and they know their contracts. Get them today. Great thing about lender, he's aware of what the market is telling and what the feds and what everybody else is doing, and they're letting us know. You as a PC coach, you're letting us know what is going on in the market and how do we stay ahead of it instead of chasing.
Exactly, and you're the one that chooses what goes back to your clients. Right? For instance, out of what Matt and Hunter said today, why would I bring it to the clients? Even assistance. Doesn't matter if you have FHA or conventional loan, talk to one of our lenders, right? Isn't that the message? But
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, so I meant to touch on this when we were talking, but home prices peaked June 2022, that was at their high point. So we're getting to the year-over-year mark where the media is gonna have to deal today with home prices dropping. You know, we saw an appreciation in the past 2
now
months.
we'll talk about that in just a second. You'll see. But anyways, so you control the narrative. Now, I'm not saying skew the numbers. We can play with numbers all day long and make them look better, bad, worse. I mean, we can do all kinds of crazy things. But if you actually take the good in every statistic, if you actually take the good in every headline out there, you read between the lines, you can actually change the narrative and make it positive for your clients, right? Because it's always a good time to sell, provide.
Oh, it's always a good time.
Right.
Great place to put your money.
So, anyways, let's look at some numbers, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
You wanna know what?
You're the numbers master, we know that.
Let's take a. So. This is. May 2023. Now, if you look at, this is active listing count, it's nationwide. If this is the first time you're looking at this stats, they're nationwide. And I've had the conversation with many people in the office for a while, where they go, well, that's nation by statistics. Why do we want to know that? With the, you know, real estate is a local industry, a local market. Well, this is what your clients are hearing, right? So you need to be able to combat that information and say, well, let me tell you what's going on at the national level, and let me tell you what's going on in our area. Go ahead.
Well, that's what Mickey's doing every day. She does her 9:30 call. She does a study of Atlanta Metro and Gwinnett County and gives you what's happening. What's expired, what's sold. And so, you know, as any of your friends told you they're waiting on the market to, let me use the word. Crash.
Crash, yeah.
I'm gonna challenge you this. Get your friends.
Like, next.
Y'all think I'm kidding. It's
No,
it's
that's
funny,
nice.
but I had people lost their lives, lose everything they had, their marriages over 08 through 10. It ain't funny when someone says that. The demise of someone else for your gain is shameful. So when they say that, educate them on how you can build wealth inside of real estate, not on somebody else's demise. If someone that owns 10 rental homes and they lose everything, that's kind of sad. They work very hard. Some of them bet every nickel they from corporate America into that investment. They have nothing. So a challenge, change the area of the cracks. I had a guy just tell me this weekend, I know that was, you know, let me help you build wealth. Ask you not to say those words when the demise of someone else. The housing market people are asking the questions. So you gotta understand this stuff and that ain't a crash. Year over year, we're up over 1,000 houses. Multiple offers still happening with rates, you know, still fantastic. How you look at it matters.
So you're saying get rid of the crash dummies and.
Yes. That's pretty good. I like it. You can say, yeah, man. Well, I hope it never does. But, you know, I tell you, I think it'll build wealth because people that are in my circle, I want to make sure they're able to build wealth and I don't want to build it on someone else's demise.
I agree.
And I've said this many times. I know you don't. know that.
So let's take a look at the national stats, right? So May 2023, 582,032 units active during the month of May. That's 21.5% year over year at the same time, right? Now look at, and I always look at the top, and that's the reason I like this graph, because it shows you 2017, 2018, 2019. By the way, were great years. There's nothing wrong with those 3 years as far as real estate went. We have less inventory than those 3 years. Big time. But we are 21.5% year over year compared to last year. And here in Atlanta, we're only at 96%. So we have less inventory than the national average. Active.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's the average sales price? Right now, 390. Even in business with me, 100 years, we got these gray hair going on.
In the US, the average sale price, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I know.
It's a little bit about 400.
Can we just say 400? That's a good number. For my math, it's 3%, 20,000. I mean, excuse me, $12,000, right? What was the average sales price in 2000? What was that?
2005, we're probably looking at about 180.
Yeah, they were 86, the average sales price, right? Now, me and Matt have had this conversation. There's Matt and Matt that come all the time for that. Call it all the time. But we talked about people taking your, is the commission rate still the same as it was back then? In our reality?
Yes.
Let's say yes, yes, and yes. It is the same. Anything, it's gone up. I think with the demise of some of these aggregators who got into our business and they're leaving. It's the same. So when I sold a $200,000 house and made $6 grand, that same house is now 400,000, if not more.
And you're looking at a $12,000.
Right. And then we have lost our commission.
Exactly. So in other words, I mean, granted, you have inflation and all of those things and cost of living, but you can still make a very good living if you're selling $400,000 house. You know, and that's an interesting point of view, for sure. Now, what do you see here? How do you explain this to your client? How do you go back and say, okay, this is what you're hearing, right? That the inventory has increased, but it's only increased 21.5% over last year. But compared to 2017, 2018, and 2019, we're definitely still, it's a seller's market. That's the conversation that you have, right? And it's even tighter in the FMLS area, where we are. Right.
So typically prices, as I've looked at charts in Cobb and in Gwinnett, they peak, the prices peak in June, and then they begin to go down.
Why is that stop? Why is that?
For the school system, people are trying to move, and there's a lot of people on the market, so you have your peak changes for school systems. Is that correct?
And we'll look at that in the last graph, so don't still.
Okay, but my only question, why is inventory going up so much during those months when
Because
prices are dropping?
we're back into a cyclical market. See, if you look at 2020, look at what happened inventory wise in 2020. It just plummeted, right? It disappeared with the pandemic. But if you let the market be, the market wants to cycle. And that's the reason you see the shapes that you see at the bottom and the shape that you see at the top. The market wants to cycle.
And we call that seasonality in our business. Right? It's always good to buy and sell, but then you have to go to Metro. You come right here to Atlanta. And Peachtree Station. If I put something for sale in Peachtree Station, I'm showing you what I want for it and on my terms. This is still not normal. So I think it's good we know these numbers. I think you need to be localized and you know exactly what's going on. And multiple offers are happening still to this day.
And that's a progression, right? So you say it's national, this is our FMLS footprint, and this is what's happening in your neighborhood. Yeah. In your county, in your zip code. And you can correlate and actually make sense of it, and say, okay, you look much better than everybody else because of where you are. Dunwoody, for instance, oh my God, take as many listings as you can in Dunwoody, everything sells in there. The market hasn't changed at all in Dunwoody, everything sells.
But why does inventory go up in the fall if sales drop?
Because that's active inventory.
All right, so
It's backlog, all of those things, right? So let me take a look at the second graph. This is your total listing count. This is everything, right? This is your active, in our case, active under contract and pending. Look at where we are compared to 2022 and 2021. We're mimicking the last 2 years. Right? Now, look at, and so that's negative 0.2% year over year, because we just touched. You see that? Now, look at the FMLS area. We're up 9.1%. Our backlog is bigger. That's the overpricing that I always keep talking about. You know, we have less properties active in the market, going into the market, but we have more percentage-wise total properties on the market. Why? Because of the backlog, the overpricing, which is still happening, right? Next slide, if you don't mind.
You know, let me add on this. I know we have time. So we called it, we borrowed buyers. I don't know if y'all remember, we gave incentives to buy, like $8,000 incentive to buy, maybe about 2012, 2013. And we were borrowing buyers from the future to come into today's market. Does that make sense? Anybody with me?
Yeah.
Well, what did we do when the rates hit 2.5 and 3%? We borrowed buyers, but here's the weird phenomenon. We got more buyers. Like what happened when people just sell, like they're living in an RV, well, they're tired of the RV, they're trying to come, now they want to come back to the lifestyle which they were living, they made a lot of money. Yet it's just this, they made a lot of money, but they're gonna pay a lot of money, right? Yet they're also gonna pay a higher interest rate, which they had. So I will say this to everybody that has an interest rate, and I hope that you do, and you're below 3, don't sell that. Don't sell the house. And you're gonna say, Mike, we sell, I get it. But building wealth, you keep it and you buy another one. Because you can't borrow money anymore right now. And I know Matt and Hunter do a great job of telling us, but none of us are Nostradamus. None of us can predict what's going to happen. We just do the market in the moment we're in.
And if you apply the dollar cost average, you have to change the subject, right? You have something at 3%, and then you buy something in the 6s. If you average out the mortgages, the interest that you're paying is actually 4.5, right? So it's just back for the perspective. Exactly. Yeah, we got it. Now, look at the pending listing inventory, and we'll move quickly. The interesting thing here, we're down 80% year over year. We're exactly where we were in 2017, 2018, and 2019. You see that? Right? And this is the national average, right? Now, look at the FMLS footprint. What did you notice in that graph? And it's going back to 2020. 2021, 2022, and of course, 2023. It does this. It peaks, it drops. So we're very much affected by the narrative. Something happens on the news, oh my goodness, the sky's falling, right? And that is for you guys to change. So that's how, that graph right there shows you how important it is that you change that narrative, that you actually bring good information to your clients, because you wouldn't see those peaks and valleys otherwise. Does that make sense? And we're down
26, almost 27% in pending sales over last year. So we're outpacing the national average. We're not keeping it, and this is that overpricing that I keep talking about, because that still happens. Because what you see in price plots is the overpricing. Nothing else. Next slide, if you don't mind. Newly listed homes. We have negative 22.7% less properties going into the market. Go get some listings, guys. Go talk to those people, get them up the fence. They can still sell and they can still make a lot of money because it is a seller's market. Look at where we are. We're almost about the same, 23, over 24% under last year. We're a point apart. But we're mimicking in this particular stat, we're mimicking the national average. So go get those people, right? Next slide, and this will be days on market. We're down to 43 days, which is 14 days year over year. Where are we? Where are we in the FMS area? 12 days over last year. So we're actually doing better because we have less inventory. Right? If you price things right, things are moving right. I'm chasing the market. And then one last slide, and that'll answer a lot of people's questions. Look at the median list price. Remember we were talking about last month and saying we see it cutting across and actually, adjusting year over year and the national average. Look at what it's doing. Pricing has not come down. And if you look at the national average, it's at 441,000 year over year. Is it gonna cut across? I don't know. Is it gonna continue and go over the hump? Maybe, right? But where are we in the FLS area? We have a drop of 2.5%. And again, that's over pricing, if you ask me. So our price is $390 from 400,000. That's what it was last year at the same time. But the numbers are still good. Provide that information. Go get those listings. Go talk to those buyers. It is still a great time to buy. They're able to, if you're on the buyer side, it is a seller's market, right? What's the uptick for the buyer? You can actually negotiate. You can actually pay not necessarily over asking price like you were doing in the past 2 or 3 years, right? But it's a win-win, depending on, which way you look. Absolutely. What's the numbers, guys?
All right, thank you for sharing those. Enrique. Oh, man, I love that. Yeah, take that with you. What's the narrative? What's the narrative? All right, you gonna start video?
Yes.
Because remember I told you I wanted to be the office of building wealth, and we're bringing How Money Works here. Bob Kalinsky, the owner of the Southeast region, did a video. And I want to show that to you real quick. It's like a 2-minute video. Great man. Kind of how it goes. Glenn Carver wrote Stand in the Heat. I think it's actually in our book, on our bookshelves. But he's gonna be teaching it. So go ahead. Bear with me.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bob Kalinsky, the regional operating partner of the Southeast region, the award-winning Southeast region. I'm here today to talk to you about something I talked to you about 1.5 years ago, and that is the company How Money Works. I want to tell you that in the last 18 months, even though we were coming out of COVID and getting back into a shifting market, the fact that the Southeast region has aligned itself and has recommended this company to come into your market center for one purpose, and that's so the Southeast region could deliver to you a proven system with the people that have culture like us to talk to you about how to be wealthy in life, financially wealthy. It may be that we look like all the time we're talking about selling houses and trying to keep people in that one lane. But the real truth is the Keller Williams Company, and definitely the Southeast region, wants to bring to you value propositions that impact your entire life, not just your income today, but the lifestyle you lead and the wealth that we hope you build. So back in, I guess it was August of 21,
we made the first alignment with this company, how money works. And I can tell you standing here today that after having probably 20, 22 market centers entertain their existence or coming onto stage teaching how they teach people how money works, the feedback has been incredible. And what I love most is hearing from our agents and our staff that they have used the knowledge and the tools and the relationship with this company to actually benefit themselves well beyond the real estate arena. I want to bring back on stage with me two guys that have come to the market centers that I hope that you will have them come again. And if you haven't had them come, that you'll invite them in. Glenn, would you come? Scott, would you come up?
Thank you, Bob.
Glenn and I have known each other for a long time. Scott and I have known each other for some time.
That's right.
But I want you to take a look at these faces because they are the face of how money works. I am asking you, I am offering to you, and I'm recommending to you that if you're a team leader, that you reach out to these guys, and the number is available through the region office. They'll be promoted on this screen behind me how to reach them, but I really want you to take advantage. We know we're in a shifting market, but money has its rules no matter where the market is, no matter what you're selling, how many you're selling, or where you're selling. And what I want you to do is to bring these people to your office to show you the rules of money. And I will tell you this, if you don't know how money works, it will work against you. And I don't want that to happen to anybody in the Southeast region. So with that, I want to thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do. And I want you all to take action as leaders in the Keller Williams Company and invite these guys in to teach you how money works.
So we took action. We have Glenn Carver coming. When do we have him coming?
We'll take a look at it. It is this week and I can't remember what day, so it's just the second.
Anybody got a calendar?
Well, we're about to put it up when we go over.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we gotta find the right screen to share, sorry. That's not the right one.
It's Thursday at 12:30.
Thursday, 12:30 to what?
That part I don't know, I can't.
Okay,
It'll come up as soon as.
we got it coming up. There we go, Nikki.
Up till 2 o'clock, 12:30 to 2, hour and a half.
Here we go.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of
What's
info.
going on that screen? Okay, so classes this week. Today, as we mentioned, we had rescheduled Aubrey's class because we are using the team meeting room. It has been rescheduled for Thursday, the 15th. That is part 3 of his cash flow course. It's fantastic. If you missed 1 and 2, you can still come to part 3. You're going to be just fine. Parts 1 and 2 are available to watch on our YouTube channel as well. Tonight is case 4. With that, if you know anybody looking to get their real estate license, they can join me on the Zoom call. The link and everything is in our Sunday email, or you can email me or text me and I can send you the link. It's always the same day, same time, same link, so you can just save it and pass it along if you need to. On Wednesday, Real Estate Jeopardy, this is with McMichael Gray. Come on in, win some prizes, have some fun learning, knowing your contracts. Also on Wednesday is a business development mastermind with David. David's gonna be doing that, talking about your business, how you can grow, what's going on in the industry, anything you need to know about growing your business. And then also on Wednesday is the bilingual sessions from 1:30 to 4. Typically contracts, that is in Spanish. And now we're getting into Thursday. Tech appointments with Tyler, new agent meet and greet. This is for anybody new or newer. If you have not joined one of these meet and greets, come on and join Shelter and O'Kelly. They'll give you a book, get you some goodies and learn about the real estate business. And then here it is, how money works from 12:30 to 2. This is it with Glenn Carver. They were here, was that pre-COVID?
Yeah, I believe so, somewhere in there.
COVID, and they were doing a long series that is fantastic. They have condensed it. The book is really easy to read. You don't have to have that financial mindset. It is great. They make it in simple terms that you can understand and how to help you breathe well.
For those who will be at closings all day, do you have a recording plan for
I
that?
believe it will be, yeah, it's on Zoom.
Hold on,
Yep.
hold on. What did you just say?
Got that, huh?
I gotta add that, what'd you say, you gonna be where?
Closing, morning and the afternoon.
You have two on that day. In the last year, how many of you had two in one day?
Okay.
Joe.
Matt, congratulations. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll get recorded. Just remember also, any of our classes that are on Zoom and that are recorded, you can go to our YouTube channel and you can go back and rewatch them. They are all on that YouTube channel. The link is in the Sunday newsletter. And then Friday, ALC teaches. This is what JC, I wish he was here, the art of door knocking.
JC's right there.
Want to say anything about this, JC, real quick?
Yeah, so Friday, as Enrique said, listens are down, so Friday, I'm gonna go through how I go door knocking, I go every Sunday. So you can take more listens, actually just got a listing that I got from door knocking, they said they didn't want to sell for another 6 months. Got in an argument with the neighbor and I decided to list, we got a. So it's still a multiple offers situation. And now that they want to sell, I got the other neighbor who's talking about selling, so it's free, it just costs you sweat equity. I go on Sunday, so there's no traffic, and yeah, so see you Friday.
Yeah, he took Clifford with him, like last week, a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people have gone with him on this. I think it's great, I've been saying this since, COVID and how the market has changed, and you're just speaking to what Enrique and what the market, or Matt Hunter said, you're just speaking it to the neighborhood, you're not selling anything. You're not soliciting, you don't have a product, all you want to do is give them a service and an opportunity. They see you up there hustling, they want you to do the business, right? And if you get one deal per week or two per month, right? That's $24,000, which is the average sales price is 400, 12,000, you get two, you get $24,000. So it's a great thing. So I appreciate you doing that. I didn't know, that's awesome. That's a great one. So Friday, June 9th, get ready, get your sneakers on and go make it fun.
We'll have lunch.
Well, the class is here. You're not going door knocking that day.
Oh, we go for Sunday, so you wanna go with it. Don't be afraid, the police will come by, he'll tell you that. The neighbors will cuss you out, get used to that. And then he gets you past those fear. And I knocked doors for 5 years, so I understand selling newspapers. I get it. I was soliciting.
So those are the classes coming up this week. When you're looking into the future, as a lot of people have mentioned, on the 20, I think it's on the 20th, yeah, right up there. We're doing headshots after team meeting. If you need to get a professional headshot, there is a class field trip coming up on the 21st. It is going to be an appraisal class, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, yes, Murphy. It's an appraisal class. It is a field trip. Please register and sign up for that. The barcode is on there. It's also in the newsletter.
Can I ask, let me it's very important that you do that. With the market being a little wonky, you're seeing a lot of appraisals come back undervalued. Have you seen that or heard it? It's happening, it's happening. This is why Hunter and Matt matter so much, because when they do that, you have evidence, they go to bat for you. It matters, I promise you. And so come to that class and understand what's going on with Scott, Murphy, and his whole team, and then having the right person there. You know, if you live on the lake, you need to have the right person. So anyway, I do challenge all of you to go to that. That's really important. Go ahead.
Coming up later this month in Focus, this is with Amy. This is just another way to get business, to help your clients, give them other options. That is a great class to come to and join and see what you can do for you and your clients. Bowling happy hour, which is on the also right. My son turns 21 that day. I know.
We're already young.
I know. You do need to RSVP for bowling. We need to make sure we have enough lanes and all of that good stuff. So please scan that code or go ahead and do it from the newsletter.
That's just fun. That's
That's
gonna be
fun. Yeah, for sure. And then coming up also in the future, June 24th is Quantum Leap for young adults. We've talked about this before. Anybody that you know who is in that 18 to 24 range that just wants to have an understanding of different options in life. And then Mega Campus coming in August. That is in Austin, Texas. And I believe that's it. There we go.
Boom. Mark, take us away. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning, beautiful people of Chat North, and happy Gratitude Tuesday. It's another wonderful day to be alive, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, speaking of life, life is short. Break the rules, forgive quickly, kiss slowly, love truly, laugh uncontrollably, and never regret anything that made you smile. Let's continue to think big, aim high, and act bold. Peace and love. We're out.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.